Hello and welcome along to another video. So this video is about a new prop that we're building for this year's Christmas display, and as you can see, this silhouette is of triple bells. Now we could do this in pixels and then set out a template on the software for each bell and use that template to drive the swinging of the three bells. But where this is going to go, I have some RGB string controllers, so I need to have them as three separate bells. But the problem is that because they overlap, there are a number of light positions that need to light up in 2 or 3 of the positions. So we have this one here which it lights up on all 3 positions. We have this one here that lights up on 2 positions. We have these 3 here, again 2 positions, and these 3 here, again 2 positions. So we need to find a way to get around this. So let's move that out of the way and we'll bring in some paper. So we've got the 3 bell positions, and so we have the voltage and the red, green, blue, the voltage, the red, green, blue, and the voltage and the red, green, blue. So those are the 3 channels, well 9 channels in a total, but 3 bells, 3 silhouettes. So what we would do is take these feeds and go around the bell silhouettes. You have to excuse the crude drawing, so that, but then when you get a common pixel, so let's just say this pixel needs to be lit up by this one and this one. So for this pixel, and it can be any number, you've got your voltage, your red, green and blue. So you bring in your voltage and that just goes straight into the pixel, and then what you have to do is from the pixel or pixels lights that are going to light up on both, you bring a connection, say from the red, and you have to put a diode in each side of that, and then you take that to that red and you take that to that red, and you do it with the green and the blue as well. And what that will then do is, if this one turns on, it turns this one on here, and if this one turns on, it turns on from here. But because of the diode, it then doesn't feed through to light up this one. So when you apply power here, this bell lights up with the common pixel lit, and then when you apply power for this bell to light up, that lights up, and with the diodes in, the common lights light up as well. So by doing this, and obviously you replicate it over here, and on the one light you've got all 3, so you would take 3 diodes up to the red and 3 diodes up to the green and 3 diodes up to the blue. So you've got quite a bit of work with soldering in these diodes, but it's a good way to make it light up how you want it to. Or you go for the pixel route and run your lights, and then you define each of the 3 bells in the software. So we shall be putting this together and adding to this video as we go through. Okay, I've drawn it a little bit clearer on a piece of paper to explain it a little bit clearer. So you've got your controller and you've got your cables out to the bells. So we've got channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, which is the RGB and the 5 volts out. And bell number 2, we've got the 5 volts and channels 4, 5 and 6, red, green, blue. And bell number 3, the 5 volts out, and channels 7, 8 and 9, the RGB. So there's your 1 bell, 2 bell, 3 bell. So you place your pixels in the holes to make up the bell, leaving out the common ones that are common between this and this one, this and this one, or all three. So this represents your string, and obviously you'll have diodes from the 5 to green and from the 5 to blue, but I haven't put the green and blue on, just the reds to show for the example. So you've got your common 5 volt rail into each diode that's light LED on bell number 1 that comes back on the red. So when they apply some ground on the red rail, these LEDs will light up in red. Same again on this rail, we've got a common 5 volt rail, and then when they apply ground to the red line, these LEDs will light up red. So then we have a common RGB bullet that needs to light up on this bell, and it's also in this bell. So you bring the 5 volts up. Now the 5 volts can come up from any connector because they're all common. So we've brought the 5 volts up to this common LED here, and then on the other side you put 2 diodes because it's on 2 positions. If it was on 3 positions, we would put a third diode in, but the diodes run back to the red or green or blue. Obviously you're going to have to put three sets of 2 diodes in this, because you've got the R, the G and the B. And what that will enable then is, when you want bell 1 to light up, the controller will apply ground, lighting up all these, and through this diode it will light up the common ones and you get the complete bell. Because of this diode, it doesn't then feed through to light up bell 2, and vice versa. When you get some ground applied on here, all the LEDs in bell 2 will light up, and through this diode the common ones will light up, so you get the complete bell. And this diode stops it feeding through to light up this side. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fit the little RGB string pixel lights in, and we'll do those on a time lapse. Okay, that's 3 sets of bells put in, so that's 3 continuous strips. So we use these are 50 RGB string lights, Raywu I think these are from, imported in. Never had any problems with them, so recommended, and probably the cheapest place to get them, from the Raywu store, and buy them in bulk. So we've got 1 bell there, one bell there, and one bell there. So that's 3 individual bells that will light up, and then we have a set of 3 for here, and a set of 3 for these holes here, a single one for here, and a single one for here. So with these 3, we'll put some cabling on here, because these 3 will need to be driven by diodes to this bell and diodes to this bell, and same with this one. This will need to be driven by diodes to this bell and diodes to this bell, and then this single one in the middle will need to be driven by diodes from this bell and this bell, and this one will need to be driven by diodes to all 3 bells. So quite a few diodes, but it works. So I'm going to cut some wires up and prepare those, so we'll be right back. Okay, so we have 27 diodes to solder in. Now these are 1N4004s. They have a capacity of 1 amp, so that should be more than adequate, as these little LEDs will not draw that anywhere near that. So we're going to make up some leads. We've cut our cables to size, and we're going to get the heat shrink and the soldering iron on the go and make up these leads. Okay, that's the first light done with 3 inputs. So 3 separate inputs coming in through the diodes, all heat shrinked up, ready. Now obviously we've got another 3 sets of lights to do, so I'm going to do those off camera. Okay, we've fitted all these bullet pixel RGB pixels in that are common across 2 or 3 of the bells, and we've made the links, so this bell will link in to pixels here and here. We've still got to put the cables on to run each of the 3 channels, which are here. Now before we do that though, I like to use the hot glue gun and just run a bead around each of these bullets just to keep them in place, stop them moving out. So we'll set that up and get those all glued in. Bullets glued in, just keeps them in place, stops them popping out. So I'll just leave those to set hard. You may notice we've got these 4 little marks here and here. These are actually so they can be mounted on the wall. What I do is I have these hooks and I cut a piece off, and then on the other side we'll drill through and put bolts through with penny washers on the back, so one either side, and then on the wall where it's going to mount we'll put a raw plug with an eye, and then these just clip onto that, keeps it in place on the wall. It makes it easy to put up the display and take down the display. the end of the season. So I'm going to leave those to dry and probably fit these hooks, and then we've got to measure some cable out for how long the cables are going to be for where it's going to be in the display, and we'll solder those up and should be able to test it then. So we put in the diode packs into the different segments, because if you remember, we've got 3 bell shapes here, and there are common bulbs that go between all 3, or these 2 and these 2. And if we did this in RGB bullet pixel LEDs, we could map out the 3 bell shapes and assign those in a template, but the controller I'm going to put these on is it's bullet RGB LEDs but strings, so we basically turn the whole string on in whatever colour we want. So we've got 3 bells, so we've done the 3 bell shapes in across 9 channels, 3 channels for each bell, red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue. But obviously we've got some lights that are common, so we need those to turn on when either one bell's on or the other bell's on. So we put, as we explained earlier, we put some diodes in that enable that to happen. So we've got the little diode packs in. I've put in the 3 channel leads that come in, and we're going to give it a try now and see if it works. I'm just going to flip this over. Right, so that is the front of the bells, and you can see the 3 shapes there. I've connected it up to one of the controllers, so let's see what happens. Let's put some red on. There we go. Let's see if this works. Right, there we go. Let's power the controller up. Okay, I'm going to put some red onto the first. There we go. So that's the bell shape on the left, lit up in red, and we can bring that in green and also in blue. And if we bring them all on, we get it in white. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's turn those off and bring the second one on. So here we go. There's the middle bell lighting up in red, green, blue, and then we've got the last bell, red, green, blue. There we go. So that's all working as expected. So I'm just going to try something here. So if we bring that one up in red, that one up in blue, and the last one up in come on, there we go. There, so we've got the first bell in red, the middle bell in green, and the right hand bell in blue. But what that has enabled us to do is to see that this LED is lit up white because it's common to all 3. these 3 LEDs here are lit up in yellow because red and green make yellow, and these are a little bit harder to see, but it'll be the same with these 3 LEDs here. There'll be a different shade of blue because it's got green mixed in, and in the middle here this is common to the 2 bells, the red and the blue, so we have like a pink. So there we go. That will be in this year's display, one of our new features, and hope you enjoyed watching how that was built and put together, and gives you an idea for your display if you've got a silhouette that has common positions and you want to do it with RGB strings. Thanks for watching.